This video is going to be about how much a Lake Martin home costs. I'm going to break it down into bands. That's what the number one thing you're going to find out through July of 2019. The number two thing you're going to find out is how sales are going at the lake through the end of July. All right, let's go. And I went ahead and usually I do a bunch of drawing and writing and stuff like this, but this got kind of complicated, so I want to go ahead and pre-write a lot of this stuff. Okay, so here's the question. I looked through the end of July 31 on 2019 and broke down percentage of sales by price category to let you answer the question, how much does a Lake Martin waterfront home cost? These are the whole lake, all agents, all brokerages, also condos, townhomes, single-family homes, everything. Okay, let's get to it. All right, if we look at I think it was 214 waterfront residences sold through the end of July, and I'm going to give you the percentage breakdown of each. All right, so $0 to $200,000 was 6.6%. So let's call it 7%. $0 to $200,000. From $200,000 to $350,000, that was 23% right there of the market. Now here's where it gets interesting. From $350,000 to $500,000, it was about 18%. Now if you'd asked me 5 years ago, hey, what's the average Lake Martin home cost? I'd have probably told you $350,000 to $500,000, but I found out I'm wrong on that. All right, so let's go a little bit farther. What percent of the waterfront home sales sold between $500,000 and $750,000 so far this year? And that's 30%. Okay, so that's our biggest category. I'll go ahead and give you a little spoiler alert because $750,000 to $1 million is 11%. It's getting my little thing's getting a little wacky. $1 million to $1.25 million, that was 7% of sales so far this year, and 1.25 and over is about 4%. And by the way, the highest sales so far this year at Lake Martin was a little over $3 million, and then there were several in that 1.25 to about 1.8 or so, but the biggest one was 3, FYI. All right, so again, I was surprised because I have seen this category right here surprised me the most, it being the tallest. 30% from $500,000 to $750,000. Now, okay, you say, all right, great, what's the trend? What does that mean? And so what I did now was I looked at each year, and this is the change in that percentage from 18 to 19. And so I wanted to see which, if any, of these bands of values have changed. Have they gone up? Have they gone down? What's the movement? So I looked from 17 to 18 and 18 to 19, and we'll give you the changes there. And I ordered on Amazon some nice colored markers that you're probably not going to be able to even tell that they're different from this distance. But anyway, here's what I found out. The segments that went down this went down about 70% from 17 to 18. This went down about 15%. This was flat. This was down about 9%. Looking for other downs. This down about 15%. This down about 11%. This was up about 10. All right, so now I'm going to go to my blue markers. Up 10, up 13, up 28, up 28, up 70. This is getting to be scribbly now. 9, down, this was down 70 actually, sorry, and up 90, sorry. All right, here's the point of all this. I'm trying to show you which of these market segments have gone down and which are going up. And so, for instance, let's take 200 to 350, for example. This year it was 23% of sales and was flat and decreased last year. So in other words, this band is shrinking. Similarly, the 350 to 500 has decreased relatively 15% each year. It's 18% of the market this year, and it's decreased 15% 2 consecutive years in a row. Now look at this, the 500 to 750. It represents 30% of the market of the waterfront sold residential, and it's gone up every single year. Last year it went up about 13% of that, and this year it went up about 28% of that. So the point is this. This is a decreasing band, this is an increasing band. What does that mean simply? I've been telling people that I didn't think prices have increased so far in 2019. This tells me, I think I might have been wrong to say that. Because if trends continue like it is, I think that there's good evidence to show that prices overall have shifted up. In other words, there's more red on this top of the screen and there's more blue on the bottom side of the screen, just to kind of visually show you that the lower prices, there's fewer things selling in lower prices and more things selling in higher prices. It's just kind of flat, sort of hard to look at. But again, with me, I always like to be right, but hey, I think I've been wrong on this because I think it shows me prices are shifting upward with homes. So, I learn something every day. What do the raw numbers look like? So now I'm getting back to just, that's Alexa that's trying to talk to you too. What do the Waterfront Home raw things say?
Alexa, stop.
Alexa, stop. All right, so sorry people. All right, so here, let's just look at the raw numbers of Waterfront homes sold, and we're going to compare them 17, 18, and 19. Now, the last time I did a market report was for the month of May, and I probably did it in June. But what I found out there were 40 waterfront homes sold in May, which was like the best May that I could find on record. And I've been wondering this whole year, it's been my theory that 2017 was the best year ever for Lake Martin real estate, waterfront, okay? It had the number of sales, it had price increase, low inventory, the whole shebang. 2017 was the year to beat. And I've been saying all along, I don't think we're going to make it in 19, because in 18 we were down and we were treading water in 19 so far. So what's happened since I've been up here in 2 months? I'll show you. It's pretty interesting. All right, what I'm going to give you now are year-to-date sales. I'm just going to go ahead and skip through the monthly stuff and give you the sold year-to-date sales. In 2017, through the end of July, that's really important, through the end of July in 2017, there were 218 homes sold in 2017. There were 177 sold in 2018. And then in 2019 so far, we've sold 214. And so we're pretty much, we're within 4 homes sold so far of 2017, which if you do that over, that's 2%. We're within 2% of striking distance. So I can very easily see that we can match or maybe beat 2017 this year. This summer has been not only hot temperature-wise, but it's been hot waterfront home sales-wise. So what does that look like? Well, that means we're up 21% from the prior year. And as people that watch this, my little podcast, well, that's not a podcast yet, as people that watch this a lot know that I really look year to year a whole lot, and we're up 21% from that. The 5-year average is about 206 waterfront homes, and we're up, we're up about 4% from that. Okay, so we're beating 5-year average, we're beating the prior year, and we're within striking distance of the best year ever. So I think that's pretty good. Now, what happened? What's been going on? Well, like I told you, in July alone we have 55 waterfront home sales. In June we had 37, and in May, like I already told you, we had 40. So I'd have to go back and look, but I think 55 might be a record too. Which again, I'm just as shocked, probably more shocked than the last guy. Last year's July was 29. Last year's June was 35. Last year's May was 32. In 2017, they only had 23 sales in the month of July. That just shows you how hot the other months were in July, in 2017, because they had 45 in June and 36. So basically, to bottom line it, in this year we had a huge July and a good June. They had a huge June and a below average July, but the bottom line is that we are within striking distance of what I think to be the best year ever, home sales wise. So how does that look? I always promise you to give you sales and inventory every single month. I don't cherry pick. I don't pick what I think is awesome or cool or rah-rah. I give it to you all the time, same stats every single month, so we can look for trends. What did inventory look like? In 17, in July, we had 261 waterfront homes for sale. In 18, we had 296. This year, right now, in July, we had 291. So that means we're up about 12% from 2017. We're about even with last year, but we're up about that up from 2017. Our 5-year average is 321. So depending on how you want to look at it, we have lower inventory than our 5-year average, but we have a 12% more inventory than the best year ever. So our sales are right there even with best year ever. Our inventory is 12% up. So I don't really know what to think about that. I think the jury's still out, considering how wrong I was on previous couple of months. I'm not going to make any predictions. That's Jimmy, the real estate dog. I don't know if he's on camera or not. So, but that's interesting that we have big sales. But how does that look with lots? Lots is a little bit of a different story that I think is interesting. All right, so again, I'm going to go to Waterfront Lots sold, and I'm going to give you the year-to-date numbers and go right to those and see how they compare. Now, I'm trying to give you 5 years with lots because I think it's interesting to see how we went. In 2015, we had 54 lots that we sold through the end of July. Again, all these are through July 31st. In 2016, we had 36. 2017, we were about even with 37. I'm going to get out of whack here. 2018 was 36 again. And this year so far, we have 31. So we're actually down about 14% from the prior year on waterfront lot sales. And we're also down about more than that from our 5 year. I can't do that math in my head, but I don't know, 15%, maybe 30%. I can't. Anyway, our 5 year average is 39. We've sold 31. Y'all do the math for me. I can't do it that fast. So we are a little bit low on waterfront lot sales. Again, I think this is interesting because home sales have been so blisteringly hot, and I do see a real opportunity for lot buyers, and I'll show you why on the next slide. Because our inventory is still looking really good for waterfront lots. In 2015, about this time in July, we had 148 lots for sale, and you're going to see the lot increase. You're going to see the lot inventory decrease. Okay, so it goes down. It's 152 in 18 and 126 this year. So we're down about, and the 5 year average is about 135. So we're down about 8% from the 5 year. You can see over the trend, that was an anomaly year because one neighborhood came on and had 40 lots. So if you look at our 5 year average, we're still below our 5 year average for inventory. So to bottom line it for for waterfront lots, I think this is a huge buying opportunity for waterfront lots. Sales are historically down from our 5 year. Our inventory is down from our 5 year. So to me, that means great time to buy a lot. I feel like I've spit out a lot of numbers here. If you have any questions, just give me a call. I sell real estate here full time. That's what I do, full time. If there's anything really that I would come away from this video, it would be if you are, I also broke down the numbers for, because a lot of people ask, well, what's the influence of condos in this band? Because I'm back to just percentage of home sales here. I did find that the condos were a little bit higher in those previous years, but not materially higher. So I really do think if you're buying under, certainly under $200,000 and probably under $300,000, chances are a higher chance that you're going to be buying a waterfront condo at the lake. But certainly we have seen a shift in the last 2 years to go from the highest bands from 200 to 500, or you can say 350 to 500 to that 500 to 750. It's been interesting. We're going to have to see how all the year plays out. But if I can help you with any of this, please let me know. If you own a property on Lake Martin, I would love to help you out, whether that's a lot or a condo or a house. I could come by, give you a free, no cost, no obligation, no strings attached kind of estimation of your value and what I think it would take to sell it. I would love to do that for you. Again, I'm John Coley. Thanks a lot.